Joining us right now, Ivanka Trump. Welcome. Great to have you back.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Good morning.
Well, let's get right to what really matters. How's your baby?
I agree with you on that. He is unbelievable. He turned 3 months old yesterday, so time is flying. But he's a sweet, sweet little boy, and so far, actually, a very cooperative baby. So I don't know. I think maybe because he's my third, I may be getting just a little bit better at figuring out how to take care of him. But he's so far he's been a little angel.
And what's his name?
Theodore.
Theodore. Okay, so listen, third one is a charm, I think, right? They're always the easiest.
We're certainly enjoying him, so we're all having a lot of fun, and thankfully his brother and sister are at least so far very, very happy about his arrival. So all is good.
All right, well that is absolutely fantastic. I want to get to the campaign trail. Some changes in the campaign. This is the normal course of business. What happens? It really doesn't change the movement that your father has ignited and created. And you guys seem to be getting your footing now. You're hiring a lot more people that I've seen, and we're looking forward to that. Also, all this hand-wringing, Ivanka, about lackluster fundraising, who I was saying for weeks, was just ridiculous because you had just gotten started. You guys raised a record, $11 million in a week and a half. You've got another $10 million you're asking for this week. Your father's matching it. Look, my take is I think you're going to have the money you need to be very competitive. What say you?
No, it's been an amazing thing to experience. Obviously, my father self-funded the primary process, and it was his privilege and honor to do that, and it's something he very much wanted to do. But the outpouring of support as we've moved into the general election, and we just started a couple of weeks ago, the fundraising operation. But we're particularly proud of what's happening in the digital realm because these are small dollar donations. 94% of the donations were under $200. And it's, I think, akin to what you saw with the Sanders movement in terms of the small dollar operation. People want to contribute. They want to be a part of it, and we value their contribution so much, and it really means a lot to us that they're contributing to the future of the country and are so passionate about it. So, those are the donations that are most meaningful to us in many ways. And like you said, we set a record in our first week. The digital operation, all small dollars, raised over $11 million, and it's scaling dramatically. So we are just getting started, but I think we're going to blow people out of the water in terms of any expectations they could have had on that front.
Well, I have no doubt there. And, each small dollar donation you get from an average working American like you're getting now, they become a stakeholder in your movement to change the direction of the United States, save their jobs, and things like that. And
absolutely,
look, this doesn't change.
My father values those dollars far more than his own. So, it's really a great honor to see so many people wanting to contribute and to be a part of the collective mission to make America great again.
Well, I think that's also why your father decided to match these dollar for dollar, to basically tell people, hey, every time you send me one of your hard-earned dollars, I'm going to match it. I think that makes a difference. I don't think we've ever seen that so far in any campaign. Can you comment at all on that?
Well, that's how he kicked off the digital fundraising. That he was going to match up to $2 million, and it was incredibly well received. And obviously, he continues to make enormous contributions to the campaign as we move forward. He just extinguished it, $50 million, a $50 million contribution that he had loaned to the campaign during the primary process because he doesn't want that money back. That is part of his contribution to this effort and towards the goal of winning come November. So, it's an amazing thing that he's done, and it's an amazing thing that people all over this country are doing, donating $10, $20 towards this collective mission and goal.
Well, Ivanka, wouldn't you agree with me as well that this approach really doesn't change the narrative of your father, which is that he's not beholden to the elite bundler political class that basically, look, this big money that the Clintons get and others, this doesn't come without strings attached. And I know that, he's told me many times, if any of these people ever went into his Oval Office a favor based on a donation, he'd laugh at them. And so I see this as not changing that self-funding narrative. Am I right?
Absolutely. He is only beholden to the American people who have turned out in record numbers to support his candidacy. And that's it. He is not beholden to anyone else, and he's been very clear on that front. And it's incredibly important to him. He is truly independent in being able to make decisions in the best interest of this country and no one else.
Ivanka, the latest polling numbers coming out of the 10 key battleground states, the states that matter, the states are going to determine who the next president is. With all of the negative publicity that your father has gotten over the past 3 or 4 weeks, and it's been nonstop onslaught, massive, he is tied or ahead in every single of those 10 states except Wisconsin. I believe he's behind by 5 or 6 in the real politics polling. Everything else, he's either ahead or within the margin of error. And the math for him to win is simple. All he has to do is win all of the Mitt Romney states in 2012, which I think he will, and then win Florida, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. He wins that and those 3, and he's got 72. He's president, and he's ahead in all of them except Florida, which is tied. What is your take on where your campaign is headed now?
Well, I think very illustrative of how smart the American people are. So he is being bombarded with ads from the opposing campaign. They're spending tens of millions of dollars in negative messaging against him in these markets. Plus, the media is looking to decimate him at every opportunity. I've never seen a good story get spinned badly so frequently. So no matter how great a moment he has, there's always a negative slant, and I think the American people are seeing through it, and I think it's an incredible thing, and I think he's bringing his message directly to the people in a way that's unique to today. I think through the use of social media, in the digital realm, and obviously at the rallies, which are so successful, which enable him to talk candidly and not through the filter of third parties who are trying to manipulate his message to tens of thousands of people all across this country. So I think the American public is very smart, and they see through the media bias, and I think that's why the polls are so strong, and they're only getting stronger. We're just getting started. We have yet to start advertising, and the campaign's really just now kicking into a general election mode. So I think it's very exciting, and I think most importantly, if you look at the breakdown of where my father is head and shoulders above the opposing campaign, it relates to the key issues involving security and the economy, and I think those are obviously the most important issues that are being American voters: security, the economy, and the ability to effectuate real change in Washington, D.C. So those are the issues I would want to be ahead on for sure if I was running for elected office, and he is doing incredibly well in all polls on those specific issues, because he would be incredible for jobs. He would be incredible for the economy. He understands that tremendously well. On trade, he's highlighted so many of the flaws with existing trade deals, and really created incredible dialogue about something that people really weren't talking about before. And then obviously on security, my father is incredibly strong. So, I think these are really important issues that people vote after.
Look, in May, and I don't want to get into too much policy, so I just want to say this for our listeners. In May alone, the United States ran a trade deficit in goods of $60 billion. That's with a B, $60 billion. That means that annualized, we're headed to a $720 billion trade deficit. That is goods being manufactured outside of the United States, not by United States workers, coming into the U.S. Complete disaster. This represents almost 5% of our entire gross domestic product. Nobody's talking about this except him. And today we're looking forward to that, and I'm going to be...
Yes, he's going to be in Pennsylvania today, and I think he's going to really highlight specifically these issues involving trade and poorly negotiated trade deals that have decimated jobs and the manufacturing base across this country. And so I think it's, I think you'll be very interested to hear today's speech. It's going to be an incredible moment.
It is, and I'm going to have a chance to give my analysis of that this evening on CNN between 10 and 11 p.m. on the Don Lemon Show. So I'll put a plug in for myself on that if anybody feels like tuning in. Let's get to the upcoming convention in Cleveland. I know you guys are in the midst of planning that. It's going to be an exciting event. I'm a national delegate there. How do you see that playing out now?
Oh, it's going to be incredibly exciting. So we're putting together the lineup of speakers now, and the interest is incredible. So I think it will be a convention unlike any we've ever seen. It will be substantive. Mm-hmm. It will be interesting. It will be different. It's not going to be a ho-hum lineup of the typical politicians. It's going to be a great combination of our great politicians, but also great American businessmen and women, and leaders across industry and leaders across really all sectors, from athletes to coaches and everything in between. So, I think it's going to be a great celebration of the Republican Party and its values, and also of America and its values, and so I think it's going to be a very, very exciting couple of days, and I'm very much looking forward to being there.
And, his nomination speech, which will be, of course, on Thursday night, some people are saying that he's expected to have possibly the largest audience for any convention in U.S. history for that. So I know there's going to be a lot of pressure on your dad to deliver that spellbinder, and I haven't seen him myself at many rallies. I'm sure he'll be up to that task, no doubt. I want to get
I think that's exemplary of the fact that he's really energizing people across this country. We saw it in the debates,
right.
The highest ratings of debates ever, and by a huge margin. And I believe we'll see it again with the convention. So, I think it's one of the things that's most exciting about his candidacy, that people across all walks of life, Democrats, independents, Republicans, are all incredibly energized by his message. So, there's really a movement underfoot, and it's been very exciting to witness.
Now, Ivanka, you've been managing companies very successfully with your family for a very long time. When you look at the campaign management process, which is quite different, what are some of the things different in managing a, national campaign apparatus that you have to do differently than when you run one of your global companies?
Well, I'm running our business, obviously not the campaign, but my father's leadership of the campaign has been incredible. During the primaries, he spent less money than anyone else. He was competing against 16 other incredibly qualified candidates, governors, senators, et cetera, and he prevailed. And I think that's the type of thinking that America needs, to spend less, to accomplish things with much less bureaucracy, and to excel, and ultimately to win. So he did exactly that. I think now, as we're moving into general election mode, and in a certain way, a campaign's a little bit akin to a startup, in that mm-hmm. you grow. And you grow quickly, and you grow into the infrastructure that's appropriate given the terrain and given the environment. And his campaign has been tremendously agile, and that's exactly what you want. It's you want to be able to you turn a speedboat much more quickly than a tanker, and I think you want to obviously adjust the team based on the needs of the environment that you're in. So he's been an unbelievable leader in that regard, and he showed that ability very clearly in the primary process, and will do so again in the general.
So, Ivanka, would it be fair to say
he's built many businesses, so he knows what he's doing in terms of creating organizations that are both scalable and that can accomplish his goals.
So would it be fair to say that the media narrative we've had in the past 2 weeks that the Trump national campaign is underfunded, understaffed, disorganized, has no money, is that just a completely false narrative?
Pure fiction. It's pure fiction. So, but I would say that's typical for the media. So there's always a negative spin on everything. I think it's a very positive thing that my father was able to do what he did with a small infrastructure, and I think that's what the American people like. They know they're hearing from him. His message isn't diluted by 400 pollsters telling him which way to look and how to speak and what to say. So I think he'll always want to have a smaller infrastructure, but a very solid infrastructure. And our team on the ground is very impressive and is growing.
Well, look, no doubt. I've worked with them for a long time. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. I think you're in a great position right now, and I think you guys are going to win in November. And personally, I don't think it's going to be close, but that's just me. And my political predictions have been what, Michael? About 98%. I think I got one wrong since 2010. So I think
Well, we like
guys...
those are good odds. I like that. And John, your support has been amazing. So we truly appreciate it. And thank you to all your listeners.
All right. Ivanka Trump, thank you for your time today. Thank you for being with us. We look forward to your father's speech today in Pennsylvania, and we'll have him back soon and have you back also. Ivanka, thank you so much.
I look forward to that. Thank you. Bye.
All right.